Hi, welcome back to my video series on calculating the surface area and volume of three-dimensional figures. In previous videos, I showed you how to calculate both the surface area and the volume of a three-dimensional figure. Today, I want to extend on that skill and show you guys a problem where maybe we know the surface area, but we are missing another piece of information in the diagram. So, looking at the cone on the left side of the screen, the problem is telling us that the surface area of the cone is 2.669 square millimeters and is asking us what is the slant height of this cone. Okay, so we know the surface area, but we're looking for the slant height. So since this is a surface area problem, we know that because that's what they're giving us, and we know we're dealing with a cone, we need the formula for the surface area of a cone to be able to work this problem. And on the screen here in pink, I've actually already taken the time to write up the formula. This is saying that the surface area of the cone is equal to the area of the base. The base is a circle, so we use the area of a circle formula, plus 1/2 times the perimeter of the base. And since, again, the base is a circle, the perimeter of a circle is actually the circumference. So this right here is a circumference formula, times L. Now, L represents the slant height. Okay? That means that L is going to represent from the edge of the circle to the tip of the cone. The edge of the circle to the tip of the cone. Okay? The height of the cone would be from the center of the circle straight up, but we're dealing with surface area, not volume. So for surface area, when we're dealing with cones, we deal with the slant height, not the true height. Okay, now when we want to work this problem, essentially, as I'm reading this problem, I'm recognizing that I have three variables. I have the surface area, I have the radius, and then I have the slant height. I have three unknowns in this formula. And I need to be able to figure out what two of them are so that I can work backwards to figure out the information that my problem is asking. So let's start with making a list to define what we know. We know the surface area because it's given in the problem. It's 2.669 square millimeters. We also know that the radius is 0.5 millimeters because that's given in the diagram. And we know that the problem is asking us to find the slant height, so L is going to be the third variable that we don't know. Okay, once we figure out what we know and what we don't know, then we can set up our equation with the formula, replacing the variables that we do know with their numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. So in place of surface area, we're going to write 2.669 is equal to 3.14. I'm replacing the pi symbol with the number 3.14 because the problem is asking us to use that. Times the radius, which is 0.5 squared, plus 1/2 times 2 times 3.14 times 0.5 times L. Okay, I know it looks long, it looks complicated, but as we start to simplify this problem, it will start to clean itself up. Okay, so ultimately what I'm looking at when I'm seeing this problem is I'm seeing that something is equal to some number here plus something times my unknown. And if we kind of strip back all the complicated nature of this, ultimately what we're dealing with is a two-step equation. It just doesn't look like that right now because all the numbers are pretty big. We have decimals involved, exponents, fractions. So let's start with cleaning all of that up. Okay, on the left side of the equation, I just have 2.669. That is not going to change. Okay, I don't have anything that I can multiply over here, anything I can do to simplify that. And then in my first set of parentheses, I have 3.14 times 0.5 squared. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in the calculator. And on my screen here on the right, I'm using that TI-84 calculator. It's the Calculate 84 app in the App Store for iPhone or Apple. It's a free app. I highly encourage you to download it if you don't have it. All right, so we've got parentheses 3.14 times 0.5, and then x squared is this number, this symbol that's diagonal from the 7. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and I get 0.785. So all of that is simplifying to one decimal, 0.785. Okay? And then in the second term, this 1/2 times this set of parentheses, all of that is numbers, and all of it is being multiplied. So I can do that multiplication in the calculator and simplify all of that down to a single number that serves as my coefficient on L. So we're going to do that. All right, so for the 1/2, we're going to hit math, the left arrow, and then hit enter. We'll get 1/2 times parenthesis 2 times 3.14 times 0.5, close the parentheses, hit enter, and I get a single decimal. 1.57 L. Okay? That right there gets rid of parentheses, it gets rid of fractions, it doesn't get rid of the decimals, but that's okay. I ultimately now have L times some number, 1.57, plus 0.785 is equal to 2.669. And we need to solve for L. So we need to use our inverse operations to get L by itself. And looking at this equation, the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this 0.785. It is the number that is on that side of the equation that doesn't have L. So I need to get rid of it. So the opposite is going to be to subtract it. We're going to do the inverse of adding, which is subtract. And for balance, I'm going to do it on both sides of my equation. So it's going to go away here because it's going to equal 0. And then on the left side, we're going to get 2.669 minus 0.785. And we get 1.884. 1.884 is equal to 1.57 times L. Okay? And then the last thing we need to do is get rid of this 1.57, which will allow us to have L by itself. And since 1.57 is being multiplied with L, the inverse of that is going to be to divide it. So we're going to divide both sides by 1.57. All right. On the right side of the equation, the 1.57's divide away, leaving us with just L. And then on the left side, we get 1.884 divided by 1.57. We get 1.2. So the answer to the question, what is the slant height of this cone? The answer is 1.2 millimeters. Okay? All right, check out the next video. We're going to do the example on the right side of the screen next. All right, good luck.